Okay, today we're looking at two paddles from a relatively new company called Nexus. This is the Phaze 1 Shroud, their first paddle, and this is the ProStar, their latest. And both of these paddles are super unique. The Shroud is a pretty crazy edgeless paddle that's super quick with a really good carbon fiber face and a microscopic 13.5mm design. And then the ProStar is a legit bargain Gen 3 paddle that's been pumped with a ton of foam and is sporting the latest surface to come to pickleball, titanium. And I don't think there's another Gen 3 with titanium out just yet, and this thing really does pack some serious power. And we're going to talk all about both of them. But first, I want to let you know I'm working on a video of my favorite pickleball accessories, so be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. You won't want to miss it. And if you want a sneak peek, I've got a list down in the video description of a lot of the gear I've been testing out, so don't be afraid to click around. And now let's get right into it. I want to start with this crazy bad boy first, the Nexus ProStar. This is a 60mm paddle. Its face is blue titanium 3K carbon fiber weave, and we'll talk more about what titanium means a little later. The shape is elongated. It's thermoformed unibody with edge foam. It has a Gen 3 style foam injected polypropylene core, and we're going to talk more about this core as well, but I think it's super easy to classify as a Gen 3 build for sure. The dimensions are 16.5 by 7.5 inches. The grip length is 5.5 inches. The grip circumference is 4.25 inches. The advertised swing weight is 120. The advertised twist weight is 6.9. Also, the ProStar comes with this crazy nice paddle case. And then there is a 30-day test drive, no questions asked return window, as well as a 6-month manufacturing defects warranty. And this paddle is USAP approved, and the price is $152.99 after you use promo code MatthewK for a 10% discount. And before we move on, I just wanted to highlight that 30-day test drive period with the no questions asked return policy. I think that's pretty sweet in my opinion. If you end up returning the paddle, it does have to be in good condition, and there is a 20% restocking fee on top of the return shipping. So realistically, you're looking at spending at least 30 bucks if you end up returning it. But in my opinion, I think that is a really nice thing to have. You could basically look at it as a demo fee, and there aren't a lot of these paddles floating around at open play, so that does give you some peace of mind if you don't have a chance to demo one before making a purchase. Also, that cost is pretty comparable to what Temper's demo program fee is, which I believe is around $20, but not quite as good as Bread and Butters, which only charges you the shipping for return in the first 30 days. But there really aren't many programs like this. And if there are other companies that do this, definitely let me know down in the comments. But I really do think it's great that Nexus offers this. I'm a little frustrated with some companies' return policies, which sometimes require the handle to still be wrapped in plastic, even if you want to return it within the first 30 days. So I think this is a good indication that Nexus is really standing behind their product. Also for Nexus, you can return a paddle after 30 days as well, but it has to be in new condition. I might as well highlight that too. But anyway, that policy is not what makes the ProStar such a unique paddle play-wise. That's because of two other things. The first is ProStar's blue titanium 3K carbon fiber weave on its face. And that kind of surface, while growing in popularity, is still relatively uncommon at the moment, and it is currently unheard of with Gen 3 paddles. As for what titanium really means within pickleball tech, I'll point you to my Bread and Butter Shogun review, where I do a deep dive into all things titanium as a pickleball material and all the surrounding controversy. But to summarize, these shiny lines are pretty much just colorful polyester threads that help give the paddle face a super unique feel. And I personally think how the face material affects the paddle's play attributes is what's most important, definitely more important than what we call it. And just like most of the other titanium paddles I've checked out, the ProStar's face has a very pleasant, plush feel that holds onto the ball, making it easier to control and target. And that's super nice to have and is a good complement to the other unique feature of this paddle, which is its Gen 3 core construction. I talk quite a bit what makes a paddle Gen 3 in my Gearbox Pro Power video. Definitely check that video out if you haven't. But basically, a Gen 3 paddle is a paddle that has thermoforming or some sort of hot pressing involved in its construction, as well as additional foam inside its core beyond the edge foam seen in most Gen 1.5 and Gen 2 paddles. And the ProStar is precisely that. While this paddle has a traditional honeycomb core, what's unique and what very few other paddles have is that each cell of the honeycomb is filled with foam. So you end up with a denser core that has a lot more heft that really absorbs the ball and springs it back, giving you that Gen 3 level of power, especially on those bigger swings. And what's nice about this core design compared to old school power cores like Nomex is that you've still got great touch and feel. With the ProStar in particular, the ball really sinks into the face and the core, and it's just super pleasurable to hit with. There wasn't any harsh feedback in my opinion. And that brings me to how this baby performs. And I have to say, I think it's a great power paddle. For me, it's what I wanted the Gearbox Ultimate to be. A Gen 3 paddle that packs a lot of power, but still has great touch and feel that is also super quick in the hands. And while I don't think the Ultimate ended up being that for me, I do think I can say the ProStar checked all those boxes. As a control-leaning player that doesn't want to access power all the time, I appreciate how Nexus's take on a Gen 3 core doesn't trade feel for power and pop. As I said before, this paddle has great touch and feel and would be an easy transition for anyone that's been playing with a Gen 2 paddle. And while it does have good pop, it's nothing you can't control. It's probably getting some help from the titanium in that department, and I never felt I needed to add any weight to dial the paddle in. It played fine for me right out of the box. To me, I'd probably say it's not as hot as some of the other Gen 3 paddles out right now. You have to tap into that Gen 3 power with your mechanics and your swing, which lets you choose when and if you want the ball to go flying or not. And to me, that's a good thing. But don't let me mislead you. Baseline hits or anything with the full swing and the ball freaking rockets. You can have really aggressive drives and skull-cracking putaways whenever you want to with the ProStar. But, and I know I sound like a broken record, the face and core combo feels the opposite of stiff in my opinion. I'd call it close to plush with relatively muted pop for Gen 3 that really lets you have a nuanced soft game whenever you want. So to summarize, if you want to dip your toe into Gen 3 paddles with enhanced foam and get one that's also USAP approved that won't completely break the bank, this is a great option. After promo code Matthew K, the ProStar really is a bargain for a Gen 3 at $152.99. And I really hope Nexus is thinking about exploring putting this tech into some of their other paddle shapes as well. I think getting a hybrid or a standard version of this paddle at this price point would be super popular and fill a giant hole in the market that Gearbox has left. And I don't even want to talk about the non-USAP approved YOLOs that I think a lot of folks are avoiding. Okay, I know that was a lot, but we're not finished. Nexus has another super innovative paddle that is completely different from the ProStar called the Phaze 1 Shroud. So let's talk about it. The Shroud is a 13.5mm paddle. Its face is pure Pro Grit Toray T700 carbon fiber. It's elongated with a throat hole. It's thermoform unibody and it has edge foam. The core is described as a micro honeycomb polypropylene, and the owner of Nexus did confirm that this core uses cells that are smaller than the typical 8mm cells. I couldn't get much more detail than that, but it's not what we normally see or what's being used in the ProStar. The dimensions are 16.5 by 7.5 inches. The grip length is 5 to 5.25 inches. The grip circumference is 4.25 inches. And the weight is 8 to 8.2 ounces. The advertised swing weight is 112. The advertised twist weight is 5.32. And while this one doesn't include the fancy case like the ProStar, you still get a super solid neoprene paddle cover, as well as a few accessories, including premium edge guard protector, overgrip, which is supposed to be a random color, as well as a paddle eraser. And then it has that same 30-day test drive, no questions asked return window, as well as a 6-month manufacturing defects warranty. And this paddle is USAP approved, and the price is $161.99 after you use promo code MatthewK for a 10% discount. Okay, I know I've covered a lot, so I'll try to keep this as brief as I can, which will be a little hard because this paddle doesn't have a lot of comps, to be honest. But more than anything, this is a super fast in the hands paddle that has way better control than its 13.5mm design should allow. I think the face is as good as it gets, and it's a spin machine with a ton of grab. Also, this is one of the few Gen 2 paddles with a thinner core that I've really liked. It's got very good pop, nothing too terribly uncontrollable though, and you can produce very good power with it. I think a part of it has to do with the core using those tinier cells. I'm just a big fan of cells smaller than 8mm. The only other paddles I've gotten to play with like that are from Phantom, but Nexus utilizes them in a paddle and a design that is completely different and all its own. The only thing about the Shroud that might turn some people off is its handle is on the shorter side. I know it's listed as 5 to 5.25 inches, but I really don't think it's a good fit for folks that require a super comfortable two-hander. Now, I don't utilize a two-hander myself, so that wasn't an issue for me, but I did notice the shorter handle limited some of the whip that I just do instinctively. And that's really my only critique. It performs super well, and it would be a great choice for someone that wants good power, controllable but aggressive pop, and very, very good spin and grab, and then the absolute maximum amount of hand speed. The only other paddle that comes to mind that feels as fast through the air as this is Groove Movement's 13S. And both the Movement 13S and the Shroud are almost identical in price, and I like how the Shroud and its elongated shape really lets you bring some power to your baseline hits and bigger swings. So that $161.99 price tag after you use promo code MatthewK really is a good deal in my opinion. This is a super unique paddle that will really stand out at the court. Also, before I let you go, I wanted to highlight some of the overgrips I've been using lately. They're from a company called GripKit. You can get a pack of 4 for less than $10 after you use promo code MatthewK, and I was just super surprised by how much I liked them. I thought I was a ride or die turn and Megatack user for forever because I've always loved having my hand pretty much glued to the paddle grip, but I've started to really get into these more cushion grips. GripKit's grips are less tacky than turn attack and are comparable to the popular Bodhi over grips and how they feel, but I'd say GripKits are a bit thicker with even more cushion than Bodhi's. Also, that extra thickness helps them last a super long time, which I really appreciate. And I thought they still had really good absorption. I never thought the grip got overly sweaty like some other thick grips I've tried. These seem super breathable even with that added cushion. But the thing that really sticks out and gives GripKit its name is their actual grip kit, which includes basically everything you need to set up a paddle. A paddle eraser, some of the overgrips I just talked about, some super premium edge tape that is just as good as anything else on the market, as well as a few pre-cut strips of lead tape. And all of that comes in a super nice see-through bag that makes things super easy when you need to find something on the courts. And as of the recording of this video, this kit is on sale for $35, but promo code MatthewK knocks it down to less than $30. And to be honest, I think that's a really great deal. The only thing the kit doesn't have is a pair of scissors, and I just added my go-to folding scissors, which I like because they fold up so they can't poke holes into anything. I'll be sure to leave links in the description for GripKit as well as those scissors in case you want to check them out. As for Nexus and their current paddles, the Bargain Gen 3 ProStar and the super unique Phaze 1 Shroud, I think these are both a great deal, especially when you consider there aren't any other paddles out there like them. I'm super excited to see what Nexus does next, and I think they're going to be a company to watch. And if you found this review helpful, please consider using promo code MatthewK on your next paddle purchase to help support the channel. I have a lot of the popular brands listed below, and my master list has even more. And I'll be sure to leave a link for Nexus's site at the very top. Don't forget to use promo code MatthewK for that 10% discount. You can also support the channel by purchasing some of the cool pickleball gear I've been testing out by using the links and codes in the video description below. And then hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, and slamming that notification bell all go a long way to helping me out as well. Thank you so much for the support. But most importantly, I hope you get to pickle soon, and just don't forget, it's about having fun.